joining us here on the show for his annual conversation is Executive Director of the College Football Playoff, Bill Hancock, who I always enjoy having on the show. Bill, good morning. How you doing?
Well, Damon, it's good to hear your voice again, and it has been a year, as I recall. I hope all is well with you.
Everything is really good in my world, and I hope everything is really good in your world. And I laugh when I have you on the show because I always try to pin you down to saying something that might get somebody upset across college football, because that's what we do, is that fans always have these rivalries, and you'll never do it because you're always just such a happy-go-lucky guy. I don't know how to pin you down in any of this, Bill.
Life is too short, Damon. There's only one way to approach it, and that is with a positive outlook.
So
I would not have a successful career in talk radio. I know that because I'm too happy.
Yeah, exactly right. You are too happy of a guy. There is always the conversation about expanding the college football playoff, and I know that you have said there's no plans on it. Why do you guys feel right now that 4 is the perfect number?
There is no discussion about expanding. We do have a 12-year contract, as we've discussed before, and, of course, we're entering year 5. It's all about the regular season. We have the most compelling regular season. There's something to be said for scarcity, and we have it. Our regular season means everything, and I love that about college football. That's one of the many things I love about college football.
I agree on the theory of scarcity. I think scarcity is one of the inherent values of football, both the NFL and college football, that sometimes gets overlooked because we only have a set number of games. But do you think that expanding to an 8-game playoff would really knock down the interest in the regular season? I mean, going to a 4-team playoff didn't seem to do that.
No, 4 didn't. 4 didn't. And who knows what 8 might do, or 16. But there will come a time to talk about that, probably 2023 or 2024, because this event goes through 2026. And now's not the time, but when the time comes, we'll roll up our sleeves and discuss it all.
Were you ever worried that the college football playoff would knock down some interest or water down some interest in the regular season? That was always a concern from college football administrators. Were you worried about that with a playoff?
When we settled on 4, no, I wasn't worried. I was a little worried about what 8 or 16 might have done. But, no, I knew the regular season would stay strong with 4.
Bill Hancock joins us, Executive Director, College Football Playoff. So the one concern I have, and I really like where 4 is as well for all the reasons that you have outlined, one of the things that I am concerned about is a team like UCF. There doesn't feel to be a true path that gets into the college football playoff if you do not play a Power 5 schedule. There's just not enough opportunities against ranked opponents to really crack into the top 4. Do you feel like the playing field is fair for a UCF or a team outside of the Power 5?
Yes, they do have a path. And Damon, you don't have to look any farther than Houston 2 or 3 years ago. They had everything teed up. And preseason, everybody knew they were strong on both sides of the ball, and they had a nice schedule with Oklahoma and Louisville. So they had it all teed up. And then, of course, they stumbled in the league up at Navy, and then lost another one at SMU. But it was all set for Houston, and it can be all set for someone else too.
It was all set, you're right, for Houston, but I still wonder, had they run the table, been undefeated, if the committee still would have made them one of the top 4. You feel confident that if Houston ran the table, were undefeated at 13-0, they would have made the Final 4?
Oh, there's no way to tell. There's no way to know. Good try, though, Damon.
Well, no, so this is an interesting...
No, seriously, there's no way to know, and people can speculate about it. But like I say, they had it all lined up.
You're absolutely right, and this is the intersection. Had they gone 13-0, and had they been left out of the college football playoff, then there really would not have been a path. So you guys dodged a bullet there by not having to make that decision. Isn't that right?
Oh, we don't think about bullets. We just think about getting the best team. We really do.
Gosh darn it. I'm always trying, Bill. You keep slipping out of my grasp.
This is why we have so much fun when we get to talk.
Yeah. Bill Hancock joins us, Executive Director, College Football Playoff. Let me ask you about Gene Smith's role in the College Football Selection Committee. Obviously, Ohio State has been in the crosshairs of the domestic violence situation with Zach Smith. Has there been conversation about Gene Smith's role on the selection committee?
Well, yes, there has. And, of course, we're all appalled by all forms of abuse, and particularly how it's handled by officials is always important. And the university's taken action on the matter. Gene made a mistake of judgment, which he acknowledged. He was contrite, and we have full belief in Gene's ability to make decisions in the selection process.
But that's interesting. So you guys do hold a possibility of removal of your selection committee people based on what you feel is the way they handle their job. In other words, had you felt like there was a real lapse in judgment from Gene Smith that was too much to overlook, you could remove him from the selection committee for that.
Well, again, that's sort of like the other question. I don't know. It didn't come to that. It didn't rise to that level. If it had, we would have taken it to that level. At least, and we certainly would have discussed it. But it didn't rise to that level.
But an egregious, let's take Gene out of it. An egregious error by an athletic director, you do hold the power to remove that person from the selection committee.
I suppose we do. We haven't done that. But, yeah, I suppose we do.
Well, yeah, I suppose I do have the power to, if somebody on my staff does something terrible, I can remove them. It doesn't have to happen for me to know that I have that power. You guys have that power.
Well, since we appoint the members, we would be able to say, this person's not the right fit.